I am live. Who will be live with me? Hello, XRS2504. First message. What's up, Edgehog? That's a great name. It's very clever. I am live, and I am here to draw things for you in explanation for all of your terrible questions. I do not use toothpaste, dear Gespenterhafte Gondolier. I don't use toothpaste. I floss, and then I dip my toothbrush in Listerine to clean it of bacteria, and I brush with water. Toothpaste is not actually necessary. I've never had a cavity. Hello, Omega Man. I'm drawing the sun for you. Until such time as I get a reasonable request to draw something else or speak about something else. Who wants to improve yourself? How's the winter storm treating me? It's raining. Benko, yeah, I'm gonna do a face reveal. I'm gonna try to do a GoFundMe for a face reveal. I'm gonna try to get $2 million. I'm gonna ask for 2 million. I'm gonna say, do you want to see my stupid face? Give me enough money so that I can be cancel proof. Give me fuck you money. And I will show you my stupid, worthless old face. You wanna see it? Commit to it. $2 million worth. Self-maximizing is work. I'm working on it every day. Don't be dumb. I keep adding new sections. Every time I write something for self-maximize, I realize I have to write something else to explain it. It's very complicated. I'm working on it and I'm making other content at the same time. What happens if all men just start ignoring women? Don't worry about that. They're not going to. Don't even fucking worry. Where's the end of the table? There we go. Right there. How long is it now? It's like 17 pages, Bella. It's a lot. Can I graph tax fraud for you? Not in the moment. Why is using Android seen as low status? That is in group preference. So the iPhone and Apple marketed itself as a luxury brand. It's not. It isn't. But people think it is. It's the design and the commercials and the culture that it makes people think it's like Starbucks. It's like how people think Starbucks is fancy and it's really just like Mick coffee. Um, so it's purely mental. There's nothing actually bad about androids. It's just like you don't have the thing I have. Doubt shadow the content. What makes me a bad decision? All of my red flags. When women look at me, when women meet me in real life, and they see me, they can tell that I'm going to be fun and that someone's going to regret it, either me or them. Women usually they know what's up and they look me up and down and they go, this guy's crazy, but like I like crazy. So like I add another notch to the bedpost, but then I don't follow through with a whole lot of wholesome, take you to the movies kind of stuff. It's just obvious that that's who I am. So I'm often a bad decision. Alicia G has a crush on me. Well, get in line. I have a lot of crushes, Alicia. I like you too, I'm sure. I'm sure that you're lovely. How soon should you ask about body count before you sleep with the person? You should ask, before we do this, what's your history like? So, take it slow. But yeah, don't go getting in bed with someone and then asking them later, what's your body count, So tell me about your history. Like don't ask for body count. I hope nobody's doing that. I hope that nobody's actually using that phrase and saying like, what's your body count? I hope you're being smart about it and you're saying something like Hey, I'm really, I like you and I want to get to know you. Tell me about your dating history and, da 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 da, and see where she goes. Have you always stoic? No, I'm not even stoic now. I just recommend it. Brandy McGinnis says, Mr. Homath, why am I always so sad? Well, the world is a sad place. The world is a hard place. I'm always sad. It's a sad world. I am a funny and pretty woman. Can't find a guy that excites me. Yeah, common story. That guy, Pete, you refuse to invite to gatherings. Big fan. Taking the complex ideas and making them easy, digestible. Yeah, yes, I am. Thank you. Glad you appreciate it. Am I a cynic? Yeah. Lightning in my hands asks, am I a cynic? Yeah, I am. Um, I generally assume the worst of people. I'll just graph that for you. When I'm meeting someone for the first time, I generally assume the worst of them, and I let them prove it as time goes on. So it's like, I guess I should do this as a scatter plot. This would be like trust, and this would be time. And I mean, for the average person, it starts here and kind of like goes like this. And then I don't know how to graph it for many people. It can kind of go like that over time. But yeah, I always start low. Do you think D size is a major factor in male success and women just don't want to admit it? I mean, it's not so major that you would lose sleep over it, but they care. They do. Have I heard of Diogenes? Yeah, he was great. Bro, you have 500 people watching you. Are you weirded out by your subscribers? Why would I be weirded out by them? Brad Berkeley, you are a purveyor of truth. What's your opinion on religion? I think that most religious people are just followers. Um, I think that, let me just draw the levels really quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think most religious people are like here and here. And I think that it goes down here, and these people tend not to cling to religion very much, and then it kind of comes back up here. I think that once you get really, really high in awareness, you go back to looking for how everything is connected. And these people are just trying to fit in. Most people use religion as fitting in, but here, I guess it wouldn't be that high. It would just kind of be like a bump like that. People who get up there go back to it. Raymond asks, oh, I have chats. Updates on your diabolical master plan, scale, scope, hints. The hints are, I don't know how many hints I can give you on like a live YouTube. My plan isn't diabolical either. It's for the good of all beings. It's not like my plan is selfish or evil. It's in favor of human freedom and a future worth living for. I just watched a video of Tucker Carlson talking to Eric Weinstein, or was it Brett? I can't remember. It was one of the Weinsteins. And they were talking about how there's an international organization that's just going to cancel the First Amendment. And they're just going to say, oh, yeah, well, you don't have rights anymore. Sorry. But there's a permanent pandemic. So now you can't say anything. Uh, my plan is to stop stuff like that from happening. It's not very diabolical at all. It's anti-diabolical. Someone says, is Ken Wilber's Sex Ecology Spirituality worth the 800 pages of reading? If you are thinking about reading Sex, Ecology, Spirituality, just read A Brief History of Everything or A Theory of Everything. It's the condensed version. Just go no, and then uh, uh, Theory of Everything. Start with that. That one's worth it for sure. I never read Sexology Spirituality. I was just told that this was the condensed version. Cole Lecky. Thank you, Cole. Cole Lecky. That's a fun name. What is suspending your camera? It's an arm. Can you hear that? It's a like a hard arm. I also have these can I move this? Not really. Oh, how about this? I have these bendy ones too. Like these metal ones that keep my lights in place. But this one's not bendy. This one's they're very firm and in place. The arm of truth, yes. Thank you, Mr. Mudslap. What's my take on Daniel Schmachtenberger? Never heard of him. I would love to have a take. Unfortunately, I've not heard of Mr. Berger. A brief history. Well, there's a brief history of everything and a theory of everything. There's two books, and a brief history of everything. There's two of them. Read them both. One, two. How does your framework, Matsui says, how does your framework differ from the typical pickup artist way of understanding women's mental dynamics? My framework of how women work doesn't function. I should say I don't really read pickup artistry. I don't really understand. I don't know what they talk about. But as far as I know, my framework of how women work doesn't differ from theirs. It's what I recommend that you do. Like, I don't want you to go out and notch your bedpost. I don't want you to go out and just be like, what do they say, Kino or something? And just go, manipulate women into bed. I don't want you to do that. I want people to have uh, well reasoned, well thought out relationships with the correct kinds of people. Bella says, "Do you still work out?" Yes, I do. Not as much as I should, but I've been tired. The last few months. Starting this brand has been tough. But yeah, I work out. I still have muscles. I still look, muscular with my shirt off. I'm a little chubby right now. But yeah, yes, I do. I enjoy working out a lot. I have the stretchy resistance bands. J. Dev Thacker gave me 40 of these. Someone's got to tell me what this is. I don't know what that is. How does it go? It goes that. It goes one, two, and then it goes like this. What kind of money is that? Thank you. Can you get a pump? What do you mean? What, can you get a pump? Do you want to look at my arms? I am single. I am talking to someone right now, but we are not going to be in a relationship. I like this person very much, but she and I are not destined to, happily ever after for reasons. I am crazy about her, but I think it's gonna be a fling. I think it's gonna be like a short term, which is sad because I like her a lot. Can high IQ women be with lower IQ men? It's very difficult. I've never met a high IQ woman who was satisfied with lower IQ men. I don't know if they exist. But every time I have met an intelligent woman, and spoken to her about relationship dynamics, she has complained that it's hard to find a man smart enough to impress her. So I guess the answer to your question is probably not. It seems to me like most of them have a hard time with that. Okay, let's see. What is your best guess what the average female's body count is? Well, there's a scientific answer for that, but again, I haven't read the science and I don't trust it either. So they say that the average woman's body count is like 5 or 6, I think, in the West, in America and Europe, but I don't know how they would find that out without just asking them, so I don't know to what degree they're lying, because it's not none. It's not like science doesn't work that way. They don't just ask them and then tell us the answer because they know that they must be lying, and how do you guess how much they're lying? I don't know. So the scientific answer is something like 5 or 6, and my personal answer would be based on what I've seen, like, I've I've seen a lot of women with a lot of bodies. I've met like scores and scores of women with body counts in the 30s, 40s, 50s. I know one who estimates hers at 400. Um, it seems really weird to me that the average would be 5. It seems like if the average was 5, it would be a lot harder to find women who admit that they have a body count of 50. Um, so I don't know, man. You read the science, you know, read it and draw your own conclusions. I have a hard time believing the official answer. Indian rupees. Oh, it's rupees. That's awesome. Rupees. That's especially funny because I was just singing Legend of Zelda. Will you ever do a video that touches on intercultural or interracial dating dynamics? Probably not. It doesn't really fit into what I do because I really describe the psychology of the whole thing, which is my area of expertise. I don't really know where I would begin, and I don't know what I would say about it. I mean, I might be able to talk about cultural, but I don't know how I would talk. I don't know where to start talking about interracial dating. Like I couldn't. I'm not. I can't make a chart on that because it's like instead of dating, let's pretend that I make charts about food, right? Like I can tell you, I could make charts about like where food grows and how you put it together and how you cook and everything. But I don't think that I could make one about, why people select what restaurant they're gonna go to. Do you understand what I mean by that? It's like it just doesn't quite fit into what I do. Let's see. Who's next? Ooh, why is Android seeing okay, love the content, what makes me a bad decision? Have I read the book No More Mr. Nice Guy? No, I have not. You should tell me about it. I've heard of it. Updates on your master plan. Do you still work out? Uh-huh. What is your best guess? Indian rupees. Thank you. It's my first ever super chat. Cool. I love it. Does body posture the pace of speech and also how you're treated in group? Yes, very much. That's a good question. So JDev Thacker is asking. I had a client really recently, and he was talking to me like this. He was really very excitable, and he was talking to me really, really fast and everything. If you're too excitable, and you're not really grounded in yourself, that's a turnoff for most women. They don't want you to be overexcited. That's a ick. Let me see if I can get out my ick chart. Um, if you are too excitable and you're not really in control of your energy, then that's a feminine ick. It's like, oh, you're having too much fun. You're feeling it too much, and that would be somewhere like one of these. So that does matter. What else did you say? Body posture. Yes, your posture matters quite a bit. You should hold yourself in a strong and self-confident way, and how you are treated in a group. Yeah, that's your social status. Yep, those things all matter quite a bit. Will you ever do a video that touches on interculture? Oh, I had that one already. I'm a lawyer in a major city who is looking for a long-term relationship. Where do I think you should look? Um, and that's Michael. I mean, what do you think of other lawyers? What do you think about other professionals? Can you hang out in a network of like alumni from your school? Did you graduate from a school nearby? You should look for women who are socioeconomically and culturally similar to you. You know, don't go trashing around in bars in Williamsburg if you want to find someone who's going to be in a stable long-term relationship for you. Look for somebody who has similar qualities to yourself. See if you can go back to your school and do like an alumni thing or I my number one recommendation for meeting people is be in a group that forces you to have something in common with people. So if you're going to go to a biking group, then, now you're hanging out with people who like to bike. Join a nature group, you're hanging out with people who like nature. Join a lawyer group, you're hanging out with other lawyers. Identify the characteristics in women that you want and then go be in social places where they are. And do I have a lawyer? No, I could use a lawyer. You should contact me. I need a lawyer. Contact me on my Linktree, please. Um, let's see. The Black Jello. Why are women with boyfriends flirting with me? It's making me irritated. Yeah, it's irritating. Um, I can't tell you why they are. There's got to be some reason. I don't know why. It's something about you, but I've had that happen to me. Women with boyfriends have flirted with me directly in front of their boyfriends before, and it is irritating. It's like I don't want to be in this situation where this guy is watching you try to pull this off right in front of him. And one time the girl wasn't even pretty. You don't know how to respond. That's a great question. How to respond when the girlfriend is flirting with you. I just sort of smiled and let her do it. It was a Halloween party and she was like stuffing parts of her costume in my costume. Like I was dressed up in a costume and I had a thing on and she was wearing a dress with like leaves on it, like vines and leaves, and she was stuffing the leaves into pockets in my costume and her boyfriend was just over here just like just staring, just not knowing what to do. And I just was like, "That's cool. Your costume's great." I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to deal with it. That's a great question. I don't have an answer. I guess just try to play it off, blow it off. Maybe just say great costume or whatever. Are women of faith often better options for relationships? I suspect that they probably are more often, but they have their own problems. Like religious women have their own downsides. Um, do I have anything to share on the topic? I have never been with someone who was very religious. They tend not to want anything to do with me. So I don't have much to share on the topic. I know that I went looking for religious women once back when I was sort of reading the Bible a lot and re exploring Christianity. I was, raised Catholic and I grew out of it. And then later in life, I sort of began to re explore it. And I went on the Christian dating sites and it was a disaster. If you think the normal dating apps are bad, the Christian ones are a disaster. Like a lot of them are just not that smart and like they have a lot of, misspellings and they're like a lot of single moms. It was rough. And I don't know why that is. I'm not saying that's representative of all religious women, but it seems like it was the apps at least. The Christian dating apps were not a good place to go. But I mean, when I've gone to church recently, the women I've seen there, if there's anything decent about them, they're already married with kids. There was, I think, I think if I went to church maybe 20 times, I think I met one woman who I would see as dating material out of 20 hours spent at church. So it's not a great return. Um, let's see. Just trying to your name is too long and I can't read it. Just trying to probably understand, why do women find authority sexy? Power. Power is sexy. Um, power is safety. Power is provision. Power is protection. Power is like, if this guy had authority, I'll just draw a cop hat on him. If this guy had authority and he could say, "Hey, you're flirting with my girlfriend is against the law." Authority is like a psychic wall that stops things from happening. I'll just have him going. Um, it's a form of power. Authority is a threat. It's an implicit threat. It's saying, you must do what I say, or bad physical things will happen to you. Why do women find selfish men attractive? I think that that's an oversimplification. I don't think that women necessarily find selfish men attractive. I just think that you're talking about bad boy traits, and sometimes bad boys have selfish traits, and there's like a lot of overlap with that. So if a guy is really selfish and just wants to get his own way, women can see that as being powerful or mistake it for being powerful. It's an indication that he has, again, power and can make things happen. Because being agreeable is the reverse. Being agreeable is a sign of weakness. It's like saying, I have to agree with everybody or else I'm not going to get my way. If a guy is just like, I'm going to get my way all the time, I think women are probably programmed to take that as a sign of strength. But not all women are going to feel that way. I think that in our world, in the modern world, most adult women are not impressed by selfish men, but I think that they might be programmed to from birth. Felipe Donadon, thank you. I've just recently started going to the gym, and few girls started locking eye contact with me. How could I tell if they're just checking out or really interested? Well, you have to talk to them, Felipe. If you want to find out if a girl is looking at you and you want to find out if she's interested or not, you have to elevate the interaction. You have to increase the interaction. So if she starts it by looking, then you look back. And if she looks like she wants you to look, then you look more. And if she still looks like she wants you to look, then you go physically closer. And if she looks like she likes that, then you say, "Hey, you know, do you come run on the elliptical often?" You say something. It doesn't even have to be smart. And then if she wants to talk to you and feels good about it and is happy to be talking to you, then you have your answer. Like, if you start talking to a woman and she's really obviously happy that it's happening, then there you go, you win. Just make sure that you're not believing that she's happy about it to make yourself feel good. You got to elevate gradually. Like, the pickup artists and all those, day game guys, they're way too they lean way too heavy on this whole thing with, you have to run up to strange women and attack them with, like, "Can I have your phone number?" I go gradual. I go really, really gradual. I let women give me signs that they want me to talk to them. And when they give me the signs, then I elevate. I escalate. When I mentioned four strings more you guys, your names are too long. When I mentioned Crowley Nietzsche last stream, I was referring to that level 4 religion dying. Do what thou wilt would refer to the death of the priest class it relies on, leaving gnosis as the only escape of ego-driven life. That's interesting. I've never heard it put that way. So do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. What that you're telling me what that means in his own words is that religion is dying and now gnosis is the only way out? So then Crowley's great work was to force people to do the great work if they wanted salvation? Am I understanding that correctly? I suppose you could answer me in the comments. That's it's fantastic. Cole Lecky. Wow, 50 bucks. Thank you. Have you studied the concept of the generational myth? The last major one was 9/11. I feel like the loss of a defining event to cohere around is a part responsible. Yes. You should start screening your mail. Why? Why would I screen my mail? The generational myth that you're talking about, yeah, I think that's really, really very important. I think that we don't have anything to rally around except like we have self-hating myths. We the only thing that people really talk about anymore is we don't talk about George Washington and Christopher Columbus. We just talk about like America's bad and slavery and we have anti-foundational myths. We don't we don't have a story to rally around. I think that's a very fundamentally important part of the psyche, and we have only poison in ours right now. I could talk about that forever. You've said that Lackland Burnside. You've said that society will break down soon. I said that it might. I'm not saying I'm not making any hard predictions. What I'm saying is the signs are all there that things are unstable. I've been thinking I shouldn't have kids for that reason. What do you think? Well, the Bible says in the end times, women with children will be the saddest of all. It says, I think it was nursing women, women who are nursing will be filled with woe. There's something in, I think it's Revelation that when they're talking about the end times when it comes, it'll be very, very sudden. And basically, there will be two people out working for the day, and one of them will just disappear. So it's like half the people are gone or something, depending on how you want to interpret that. And it says in those times, women with young children will have a very hard time. And that's probably because they won't be able to get food and provisions for their children. Um, I don't know if that means you shouldn't have kids. Like, don't take anything I say as medical advice or anything like that. But I will tell you, my aunt told me that she doesn't want her sons, my cousins, to have kids. She was talking to me one day and she said, I don't know if I even want grandkids anymore because of the way the world is. It's just so messed up that I don't know why you would want to bring. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a woman who, like a pretty traditional woman, a baby boomer, who is openly saying, "I think I might not want grandchildren because they might just do nothing but suffer because the world is that bad." Um, so, you're not the only one asking that question, and I'm not the only one thinking it. I don't know, man. I want to talk about the generational myth more. The last one was 9/11. I mean, there are a lot of, I guess, in order to be a generational myth, it has to be large, right? Like World War II, 9/11. Do you guys like the colored pencils better than the pens? They're way prettier, right? I should have been doing that the whole time. Um, I guess 9/11 is the one. I guess you're right. There hasn't been anything other than COVID, but it's not really, I guess you could call that a myth, right? I guess you could refer to that as like a foundational story. Like this is a thing that we did. I don't know. It requires a lot more a deeper analysis. Is COVID the same thing as 9/11 in terms of the way that we tell ourselves about it and the effect it has on the psyche? I am not That's one of those things that I would like to have an answer for, but I'm not able to put it together on the spot. Do I go to church? Not regularly, Peter. Um, I have been going to church a bit uh, since COVID, not before COVID. Like before COVID, I didn't. I don't think I went to church for like 20 years. I think I probably went to church when my grandfather died, and that was about it. But after COVID and after how bad everything got, I started going to church again to see if I could find any answers or any peace there. And I just went to Catholic churches, just Roman Catholic churches, and I went to the traditional Latin Mass a few times, which is worth seeing. It's the ceremony is worth attending, just for its own sake. But I just don't know how to fit in with that section of the population. I don't know how to do it because a lot of them really do believe literally in the all of the tenets of the religion, and I don't know how to deal with that. I'm just not certain how to relate to religion anymore. But yeah, I went to church a few times. Um, how do you feel about the anti-male culture? I think it sucks. I think it's very personally painful. I think that I've lost a lot of opportunity in my life because of it. I think there have been a lot of times that I was the right person for um, a job or another position or, you know, some sort of benefit, and that I didn't get it for being male. I think that has happened a lot. And I think it had a large effect on my life. I don't think it was subtle. So I don't know. I don't know how do I feel about it? I hate it. I don't like it. I also think, you know, more deeply than that, I think it's very harmful for young boys because they have these natural tendencies and they're being told that your natural tendencies make you a bad thing. And that's really not going to make them grow up to be healthy men. Um, I don't know how to act on it though, other than just making my little videos and complaining about these, you gotta buy me dinner TikTokers. Can the levels AI be interacted with to clarify questions? I don't understand the question. Can the levels AI be interacted with to clarify questions? The way that you should interact with it, Arc Typhon, the way you should interact with the levels test is give it the fullest and biggest answer that you can possibly give it. When it asks you a question, give it the biggest answer that you can, the deepest and most meaningful version of the answer. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's the answer for you. JDev asks, what exactly is self maximize? How to lower the pace? I don't understand that question either. I'm sorry. Self maximize just means that you need to recognize what's lacking in your own acting on your life. Like I'll draw the quadrants again from Aquil. So this is interior and exterior, and this is singular, and this is collective. So this is your mind, your culture, your self, your body, your physical stuff, and your society. This is the way that things interact. And this is the physical outside, and this is the inside. So, self maximize, that phrase is all about getting in here, inside your head, and figuring out how am I looking at the world wrong? What am I not doing that I could be doing? How do I do it? How do I learn? How do I change me? It's about operating on your own mind. Self-maximizing it's all about thinking about thinking. It's all about metacognition. What it means is think about the way you do things and identify problems and things you could change and change them and then bring them into reality by acting on them. And then that'll bring them into the way your life works. And one of the ways that you can do that is by sourcing information from your culture around you. So makes use of all of them, but it's grounded in the upper left in the inside of your mind. So what self-maximize means is figure yourself out. Be honest with yourself. Learn about yourself. And then take responsibility for all the things that you're not doing or the things you're doing wrong. And then make the changes. And then your life will get better. It's like one, two, three. Figure yourself out, make changes, life gets better. Davey, what's a great way to improve or learn smoothness in a conversation? I typically tend to ask questions when conversations run dry or when trying to think of something with a group of people. Okay, so a way to improve it is just experience. Got to get experience. But what you're getting experience in is making people happy when you talk to them. And one thing I remember, I went on a really great date a long time ago with this. It was, like, right after I started getting in shape and started looking good, and I got a date with this really, really hot girl, and I was like, "Wow, that never happened before." And I read a couple of things about, like, that you should match her pace when you're talking, and you can, like, if she leans her head on one arm, then you can do that too, and you mirror her, and I just sort of used, whatever tricks I knew to get her to relax around me and feel like I was in charge of the conversation. And that was my first experience developing what I'm calling smoothness. I've worked on it since then, and I would say now I'm trying to put it into words the best way possible. I would say that what you're trying to get experience in when you're trying to get experience in smoothness is what are the right words? It's in being sure that what you're saying is absolutely 100% what you want to be saying and what she wants to be hearing. Think about it like that. Think about it like, what are the things that I want to say that she also wants to hear, like the juiciest things that you could say that are going to make her feel really warm and really comfortable with you and really happy you said it, but also you're not faking it. Tube Fire says, "Why do I feel like the higher I am in my understanding of myself and other people, the more unhappiness I feel and see just how sad the world is too?" Because that's how it works. The more you understand, the more you get about how messed up the world is. If you're down here, you're just thinking about your own life. People who are down here are just like, "Well, I got mine." And then people who are up here are like, "Oh, global warming and the world is a mess." And then people who are up here is like, "The human condition cannot be fixed." It's a lot to worry about. It's just normal. It's heavy, but we need you to be up here because the rest of us are, dying. So come carry the weight. Rishi Ramraj, hello. Glad to catch you live again. Thank you, Rishi. RE Generational Myth, the channel Young to Live By. Oh, okay, Young to Live By. Have a set of videos on the terminal lucidity of the masculine and feminine, their eventual rebirth in the West. Worth a watch if you have the time. That sounds good. What did it say? Young to Live By. Where do I write this? Put it on the bottom. Young to Live By. Let's put an asterisk there for watch. Thank you. Cole Lecky. Growing very fast and against the grain message will attract bad actors. What does that mean? Like is someone gonna mail me like Risen or something? Anonymity is good, but you've put enough info out there, someone could probably narrow it down to 100 people or so. Yeah, I guess. I mean, if someone kills me, then I guess that they just kill me. Oh no, I don't have to pay taxes anymore. Darn it. Um, whatever. You know, I guess you're right. I'll take some more safety measures. Chill Deal Games. Thank you for being concerned about me, Cole. I'll just write your name down too. Cole. Oh, I already did. Thank you. How has Chill Deal Games says, how has being a YouTube personality content creator affected your outlook on life? Not very much. I just the money's good and I'm enjoying being popular. But my outlook on life, like, I haven't really changed my attitude about the world at all. Like, I thought the world sucked pretty bad and people were really dangerous and stupid. And now I have money and I feel the same way. I just watching what people did during the last few years made me give up on everything that I ever loved and run away. And I don't want to go back. So it really hasn't like changed my point of view at all. J.R.R. Thompson says for, and then there's a cross and a purple. It's like a cross emoji. And he says for this, which I guess means for Christianity. Check out Jordan Peterson's new lecture tour this spring. Okay, I will. JP lecture tour. Thank you. To add, I write and type far too tersely, which unfortunate for the levels bot misleveled me a couple times. Oh, okay. So then yeah, don't don't write like you speak. Write like you're for the levels test. Write like you are writing for college, like you're writing an essay, not like you're talking to a friend. Write clearly. Take your time. It's not timed. It's just take your time. Are average men doomed to be alone their whole life? I wouldn't say that, no. I would say that, again, if you're an average man and you're having a hard time getting quality attention from women, just go get familiar. Oh, I redesigned the cover of my binder, and I just want to show you that. I stylized it to be like notebook paper, so it looks both um, artistic and trashy at the same time. Isn't that fun? If you are an average man, remember that average women will be a lot more interested in you if they're familiar with you. If you work with one, you know, and you see her every day, she's going to start feeling like this about you rather than, you know, if she walks down, if you're a 5 and she's a 5 and she's walking down the street, she's going to look right past you and up at the 7s and 8s. Um, but then if you see her every day, then she's going to be like, "Oh, that guy's pretty cool." You're not doomed. You just need to do this. We don't have a social lives anymore. Go get a social life. It'll work. It always works. Unless you have something severely wrong with you, in which case fix that first. Um Lawson Harrison, I've been making a great connection with someone that does not speak any good English. I wonder if lack of verbal communication enhances the perception of body language. It's a good question. I don't know. I imagine that it would because it's kind of like how deaf people can see better and blind people can hear better. I guess if you turn down one way of perceiving somebody, you have to perceive them in other ways. I would guess so. It feels right, but I don't have any information on that. That's an interesting question, though. It's a great idea. Self-maximize the project of yours. Pace in speech. I don't know what that means. The project of mine. Pace in speech. I can't figure out what that means. If you're asking me how it's coming along, I'm working on it every day. Every time I write something new, I realize that I have to rewrite something else. And I go back and I go, well, you explain this and explain that. It's like I'm trying to give all of you a coaching session at once, and I can't leave anyone out. I don't know if that's the question you're asking, though. Thank you all for your questions, though. Ben Ritchie, on a date, should I pay for everything? You should offer. You should offer. I always do. Sometimes, if the girl offers to pay or to pay half, I let her. There were two women in particular that I dated in my 20s who, like, I was broke as death. I had nothing. And there were these two girls that I dated who offered, three, who offered to pay for everything all the time. Like, we would go out and we'd go out with friends, and then the bill would come and she would pay, and then everyone would notice and they would go, "You're a kept man." They would make all jokes and everything. And it didn't bother them at all. They were really happy to be around me. The relationship didn't have any issues that were based on that. There were other issues, obviously, since I'm not with them. But it really varies girl to girl, but in general, if you don't know her, offer to pay. And if she says, "No, no, no, really," like, if she puts up resistance to a certain level, you can say, "All right, fine, we can be equals." Like, some of them want to be equals. Some of them want that, and some of them are pretending to want that. It's a whole game. It's games, because you never know whether she means it or whether she's pretending to mean it. But you should offer. Like, the last date I went on, I did not want to pay for it because I knew she was not gonna wanna see me again, and, and I was just like, you could at least pay for your food if you don't like me." But I just said she said, "Oh, I don't know how you're doing on money. I know you don't have a job." And I said, "It's okay. I can get it." And she went, "Okay," and put her wallet away. And I was like, "Damn it." I really wish that she picked up her half. But you should offer. Splitting the bill is more fair. You're right. I wish that women wanted to split the bill more. They wanted to earn the same. I wish they did, but it just doesn't work. Like, there isn't any way to tell women, be happy splitting the bill. You can't say be happy. You can ask them to do it. You can't make them like it. Reeve Cody. Is that how you say your name? Reeve Cody says, "I have bipolar disorder 1. Is there more than one? And life is hell for me. I'm screwed. I just want to hear it." And I don't know what you mean, hear what? You're not screwed. You can work on that. People are not doomed just because they have bipolar. At least I don't think so. Like, I knew a guy with bipolar, and he had it bad too. He had it so bad he was like running out into traffic, directing traffic bad, and he just, I don't know, got on the medicine or whatever, and he was doing fine. I don't know. I wouldn't be. I don't know your history. I don't give medical advice, but don't feel so doomed. Thoughts on pursuing a married woman? Don't. Paul Wolf. Um, just don't. I mean, is her marriage ending? Is it ending amicably? Is someone gonna be mad? Is the husband gonna be mad? The times that I've been with married women, mostly they sprung it on me. And there was one time that there was a married woman who a friend set us up, and I was just like, "Well, why is she cheating on her husband?" And she just said, "Oh, she just needs a fling and she needs fun and whatever." And I didn't know what to do about that because I felt bad about it because the guy is at home with the kids, and she's coming to lay down on my futon in my studio apartment, and it's like, I don't know, the whole thing just is off. It's not like a proud memory. I advise against it. I think the only time that you can really date someone who's married is if they're actively ending the marriage and both of them are certain that they're ending it. I think that's the only time that it's okay to do that. Jada Thackers, I heard you were working on a video called Self Maximize. I am. I'm working on it most days. My body language sounds too excited, ick, and my pace of speaking is high. How to work on it? Oh, I get it. I get your question. Okay. Um, you have to slow down, JDev. You have to slow down, and when you are interacting with people and giving these, when you're being excitable and everything, and you're giving girls the ick, you have to remember in the moment. You've got to do the thinking about thinking thing. You have to be able to do that on your feet. So when you are out talking to people, you have to slow down, and that can mean behaving strangely sometimes. So when you're having a conversation with someone, stop and say out loud, "I'm talking too fast again." And then people might go, "Oh no, you're fine." And then you go, "No, no, no, I'm working." Like, you might have to work on it like that. And it might not do a lot for you in that conversation, but it's going to remind you to do it better next time. It's a habit. You're building habits, JDev. So when your body language is too excitable and your pace of speaking is quickly, just recognize it while you're doing it and stop during it. So if you're going you go, I'm talking too fast again. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm changing my pace right now. You have to remind yourself somehow. You could carry something with you. You could practice at home. You could look in the mirror before you go out and go, I'm going to remember when I'm talking too fast again. You have to be conscious of it and alter it in the moment. And it'll become a habit. So it'll be awkward the first few times. Let's put some nerves here. It'll be awkward the first few times because you won't know what to do, but the more times you stop yourself, the more you will know what to do. It's just like anything else that you have to get good at, like playing an instrument or going to school or doing math. Like you're not going to do it right the first time, but you have to be bad at it before you're good at it. So do the work, put in the work. Um, use examples too. Like look at people who you want to be like and then be like them. I did that. I listened to like actors and musicians that I wanted to be like, and I listened to their voices, and I said, "Oh, I would rather talk like that instead of the way I talk." And then I did impressions of them. Like if you wanted to sound like Donald Trump, just watch his tapes and just, "Hey, the best. We get the best. Beautiful dogs. They were the most beautiful dogs." Like just do impressions until you know what you're doing. You have to internalize it. Okay, there we go. There's a brain. Days of the Week says being bipolar is for women. You're not very wrong, but there are some men who have it, and life sucks for them. And it would be nice if it sucked less. Would you share your MBTI type? Sure. I want you to guess, but I don't. I'm not going to make you pay again. I'm an INTJ. INTJ is INTJ, the autist. I am irritable and overly self assured about my knowledge and my skills, and I come off detached and superior. I am the INTJ is the type who, I mean, it's exactly what I do. I sit at this desk all day drawing diagrams to explain things to people. I do all my work alone, and I go into my head and I bring out the ideas and I turn them into pretty things to make you look at them. I'm the autist. You claim to be cynical but seem altruistic. Well, it's enlightened self-interest. It's not altruism. It's not like, oh, I'm sacrificing myself for you. It's the world sucks and I have to fix it. I have to. No one else is doing it. So I have to. I don't have a choice. It's not really like selflessness. It's like I want things to work and they're not working. So I have to make them. Um, oh, you're working on a system. That's cool. Okay. Now tell me about that sometime. It's important to the system I'm working on, which includes attraction and one sense of wholeness. That sounds good. That sounds like what I do. TDDS gives me $20. Thank you. Just write that TDDS. That's a much easier name to say. It doesn't go off the page. I don't know if you guys know this, but some of your names are like the name that is law, and then it goes dot dot dot, and it's just like I can't see your whole names because they're too long. So some of you I can't read your names out loud, but TDDS, that was easy. Jadiv Thacker, oh, thanks. By self-maximize, I meant your video. Yeah, is it a course or a small video? So it's not a small video. It's looking like it's gonna be an hour long. It's a lot of stuff. And there's gonna be multiple versions. So I'm gonna do one first. That's gonna be the whole structure. And it's gonna be, here is every part of yourself you have to be aware of, and here's how to work on them. And then I'm gonna split that up for men and women. I'm gonna do a whole structure for everything, but I can't go into detail. So, for example, one of the things is getting dressed, dressing, looking good, being dressed well. I'm going to talk about that for like a few minutes in Self Maximize, but I can't go into detail. So then later on, I will do like Self Maximize fashion, Self Maximize fitness. I'll do individual videos for everything, as many as I can get to. I have somebody who I'm talking to right now who I met on my Discord who she knows a lot about fashion, and she's emailing me all this stuff about how to pick a haircut for the shape of your face, and like she knows everything. So I'm going to work with her and give her credit on the video, and that sort of thing. But the first one is just going to be a long list of every part of yourself you have to work on if you're going to be maximal. Reeve Cody again. Hi. Thank you, Mr. Math. It does suck. Bipolar. Yeah, I'm lost in the middle of the ocean in a lifeboat with no oar. Yep, I know what that feels like. I don't have bipolar, but I know what that feeling feels like. But for me, it feels like being on a planet. Like I crash landed on a planet. Let's draw a little spaceship there with a little fin. Spaceships don't need fins, but it's like a bomb. I guess I just drew a bomb by accident. Just drew a little window. For me, it feels like I crash landed on like a moon or some planet, and there's just nothing but dust. I'll put a little helmet on me, and there's nowhere to go because everywhere ends up back where I came from. It just feels like there isn't like I can't stay here, but there also isn't any point in going in any direction because it just comes back around. Um, that's what the feeling feels like to me. Let's put a crater in here. A couple of craters. There you go. I have drawn you a planet. Sorry to hear that. Sounds like it sucks. Days of the week. I actually feel the same way about the world sucking. Thank you. And I'm actually buying equipment to start just giving life advice to people. I'm tired of rees. By re, do you mean like Pepe? Do you mean like re? Do you mean that? I don't know. I don't know what else you would mean by re. Um, what kind of life advice you gonna give? You mean like what I do? Peter Davenport. Hi. Do you feel that it is ironic that your business is in a way the emotional intellectual version of OnlyFans? Um, I don't know if I would call it ironic. I also don't know if there's anything really wrong with the OnlyFans version of, life advice and life coaching. I'm thinking about that. I'm trying to see if there are actually any parallels because I know what you're saying. But for me, the problem with OnlyFans is like, that's your body, sweetheart. You're giving away the sanctity of your very biological, that's your flesh. Your soul is in there. But for me, I'm not giving people access to my body by doing this. Um, so I'm not sure if I would agree that there are parallels. You make money on the same model, but selling ideas, not nudes. Yeah, I'm not sure if I see the parallels. I'm not sure if they are there, but I get it. I get what you mean. The OnlyFans girls, I think they just need, you know, to be hugged. I can't imagine why, an attractive young woman would want to receive that kind of attention because these are not the kind of men that she loves and wants to be with. It's like pathetic guys that she would never speak to in real life. I guess it's just the money. It's hard for me to get into that mindset psychologically. Really can't imagine it. Okay, we're out of the paid ones. Go to the regular live chat. Money, it's a career. Any attention is still attention. Yeah. Nuln Oil Tycoon, the home maths for show. Thanks for adding wisdom and understanding to this crazy little planet. You're welcome. It's fun. I enjoy it. And it pays me money so I can go buy bread and make a grilled cheese, which is what I'm going to do when I'm done here tonight. I'm going to have a grilled mozzarella and I'm going to dip it in the Trader Joe's soup. When will you drop the Don't Do It long form videos on how sleeping around affects men? That's a good question. When will I do that? I've got a lot of videos on my plate, so I don't know. It might take a little while, a couple months. OnlyFans is just a platform to pay creators, a very convenient way. Yeah. Right. There's nothing inherently wrong in the business model. That's what I was, yeah. That's a better way to say what I said. There isn't anything wrong with the business model. It's just that OnlyFans has become culturally synonymous with freelance porn, and that's I don't love it. I don't love it. I have dated some women who sprung it on me very suddenly that they used to be a prostitute or a porn star or got naked on the internet or something. And it's always really difficult. Like it's very very tough to get emotionally attached to someone and then they tell you that they have like a big deal breaker. That's happened to me 4 times. I think 4 different women. It's just harsh. It's rough. Somebody whose name is, I think, just Chinese characters says, "How do I stop being such a shit person?" Ah, I can't let. Where'd it go? There it is. How do I stop being such a shit person? Um, like this. You have to observe yourself. You have to observe yourself and your behaviors, recognize what you're doing wrong, and then actively change it. Without any detail about why you're such a shit person, I can't really help. Let's see. Let's go back to the funded chats. Do you think once social systems get to a certain size, they inevitably collapse? That's also a great question. I think that the larger they get, the more prone they are to collapse, but I don't know if it's inevitable. I can draw a cat for sure. Um, are we stuck in a cycle of empathy burnouts and dissociation from society? Maybe. I do not know what, if anything, it takes to get people to not become jaded and dissociated. It's like Rat Park. It's like Rat Utopia, where they gave the rats the perfect world, and they all stopped functioning. I think at some point people do get that kind of burnout, and they just stop doing what they're supposed to do. They stop doing what they're programmed to do. I don't know if it's always going to happen. I think it's obviously prone to happen when you see, you know, decadent societies. They have some things in common. I don't know how to draw the shape of a cat's face. I'm sure this is close enough. There you go. There's a cat. That part of your question I could fulfill. I can draw the cat. But saving ourselves from decadence, I'm not so sure about that. I think it would be possible to control that with, enforced social measures, but I don't think that people are willing to really I don't think people are gonna get on board for that. Because you know, you'd have to basically make laws telling people that they have to socialize in certain ways. You'd have to say, I don't know, it's like making certain things illegal in the way that porn and prostitution, in the way that we deal with those things. You have to force people to be pro-social with punishments, or else when things get decadent, they just um, begin behaving in antisocial manners. People get very selfish. I guess I'm optimistic that if we could apply the proper formula, then you could stop it. I don't think that has to keep going through the same cycles. I don't think we have to. I think we could stop it, but I think that we have to want to stop it and agree to stop it, and a lot of people are going to be cranky about it. I want to do my own wanties. I want my things. I want them. I think that's the main obstacle to fixing that aspect of humanity. The protesters, those people out on the bridges right now with what are they protesting? It's not Ukraine anymore? Is Palestine the current thing right now? And everyone's screaming at them and saying, I got to go to work. People just get irritable like that. There you go. There's your cat. Put some pink on the nose too. Um, okay, I missed a few. Social systems. Okay, days of the week, 80s music, love songs made women men's idols and gods, which made them weak. Okay, you mean like Madonna. Once they became weak and soft, women lost respect and they were able to be sold the divorce through media. It's black magic. Yeah, it is black magic. I don't know how much the thing that you described was a part of it, but it was obviously a part of it. Music and media and all that is definitely part of the reason why people are insane and evil. They listen to the messages and they believe them. It's a spell. It's a spell. It's literally a spell. It's literally like spelling, like words. Spelling is casting a spell. So they write a song and people are, you chant and people become enchanted. It's in the language. It is black magic for sure. Nemo V. People keep asking super serious questions, but no one's asking the real questions. What's your favorite type of cheese? How do you like Havarti? Havarti is mid. I like Havarti. Um, okay, let's just get a new page for cheese. All right. There's my link tree. Cheese tiers. Cheese tier list. I don't know how those go. It's like it's S, right? And then what is it? A, B, C, D, F? Is that how you do a tier list? So up in the A area, I'm putting mozzarella and I'm putting burrata. Um, Personally, this is my cheese tier list. So I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me on this one, but Swiss. I'm putting Swiss in the A. Um, S would be Oaxaca. Um, Sharp, like extra sharp cheddar. Edam. That is some good stuff. What else are the great cheeses? Havarti, Havarti's got to go here. It's enjoyable, but it's only like I have a very similar experience with Havarti and Munster. Like it's good. It's Munster's good on a grilled cheese. Sometimes I get dill Havarti. Um, but it's like I don't know. It's like it's soft and buttery. I like the tense, chewy cheeses. I like how Swiss gets all stringy. I like Swiss on a hamburger. It's a subtle flavor. Um, what else do I like for cheese? I'm not really big on bleu, Roquefort. Um, I would have to put brie up here. Camembert. Uh, what's bad cheese? American. I don't even know why they keep making that abomination. It's not cheese. It's a mockery of cheese. What else is bad cheese? It's hard to come up with bad cheese. Like, how about the shaky Parmesan? Shaky cheese. Shaky Parm. Hate that stuff. Regular Parmesan would be like a block of Parmesan would be a Parm. I hope that's good enough. I'll illustrate them later. Lord Reichard. Do you think sociopolitical elites are turning women into an administrative class to carry out their elite vision? Yeah. That's kind of what human resources is, what you're talking about. It's kind of like once we make a workforce full of, you know, mediocre intelligence women, then we can just tell them what's right and wrong and they will enforce it. I don't know if any of you have any experiences with the HR lady, but for some reason, and I think we all know what the reason is, human resources departments are full of like women with like 95 to 105 IQs who are um, sexually unfulfilled and they just take it out on everybody. And I think the reason for that is that it's just so easy to get them to do evil. You just tell them, like, here, you get to hurt people. And they go, yeah, I'm in charge. It's, I think that there's something to what you said, yes. Rated W Wraith. Rated Wraith. Okay. Wraith like a ghost. Yeah, okay. Thoughts on a relationship? Wow. Thoughts on a relationship where one party seemingly has zero hobbies or interests outside of the relationship itself. I mean, how much do you care about this person? Is it the girl? Is it her? Also has no interest in getting involved in the other party's interests. I don't know. I dated a girl once who was she was nice to me and she was very pretty and she didn't care about or understand anything that I liked and that was fine with me. I watched TV with her, went out to eat with her. Um, she listened when I talked about my stuff. She would ask me questions and I would tell her about my life and she would go, "You know, one time she said to me, "You are like so deep and I am like not deep at all." She said that to me. Um, I didn't mind. I think it works better if it's the girl who has no interests. If it's a woman with a very rich life of hobbies and interests and then the man is just like, I like Bud Light." I don't think that would work. Lawson Harrison. Have you noticed some women's obsession with seeing and knowing who they have replaced with after a breakup? Have you noticed some women's obsession with seeing and knowing, oh, you missed a word, been, who they have been replaced with after a breakup? Yes, I have. They compare themselves to it. They they say, like, is that his type? Because here's me, right? Here's me, and then here's her, right? Let's put some boots on her. Your mother wears combat boots. They used to say that in like Garfield comic strips. I'll have her standing in a tough pose, and we'll have the guy with her there. And this girl will see that and just go, was that what he really liked? Because that's the way that women experience things. Women have a type, and then men will just like, we'll try this, we'll try that, and I like this, and I like that, and I like a third thing. So yeah, women use the next girl that you date as a way of like measuring and judging herself, and also measuring and judging how you felt about her. So if you date somebody after her, she will approximate your relationship with her to your relationship with her. She'll measure it by that. Um, I have noticed that. I think that was your whole question. So yeah, I've noticed it. Days of the week. My name is a spell. Yeah, I noticed that. This guy's name is Days of the Week. And that's kind of like it's a way of making us call ourselves dazed and weak by talking about our lives. Why do men get cold feet at the altar? Because they don't want to be locked down to the same woman for the rest of their lives. They imagine that life will be better if they're single forever. It Getting married is full of consequences for men. You know, you're basically talking about never touching another woman again other than this one. And most men who get married are already kind of getting, accustomed to their wives because it's like the first 3 months are exciting. And after that, it's never the first time again. So that feeling of getting a new partner, that feeling of being with someone for the first time, he's never going to have it again. Or if he does, he'll get in major trouble. That's a lot for men to give up. The idea of freedom and the idea of new, many partners, new partners, maybe better ones, maybe just more. That's like a lot of what men live for. And they're giving it up for the relationship with this woman. And some of them just get overwhelmed by it. That's probably most of it, I would say. Probably most of it. Days of the Week 80s love songs like Boys of Summer is about a cuck. I don't know that one, but I will take your word for it. I'm kind of curious your thoughts on boy moms. I think that there's something to it, but I think people overestimate it. I definitely think that people, like I made a video on this a while back about there was this feminist. I can't remember the name of her account, but she made a video on boy moms, and she had some really bad examples. Like there was one where where there was a mother saying, "I'm going to teach my son to cook." So that something about when he finds a woman, he can cook for himself and isn't going to rely on her. And this feminist account said that that was like pedophilia, that was equivalent to a sexual relationship with your son. And the examples she used were really really bad. But I think that there is something to that some women try to have quasi romantic relationships with their sons for whatever reason. Like they have a son husband, and that's abusive. That's not a proper relationship to have with your son, and that's going to mess him up. It's going to mess him up, and it's going to make his life really hard. It's consuming. That's eating your own children. It's not a proper relationship because that the whole thing that I did with zones was that I illustrated the way that energy moves between people. I illustrated how psychic energy moves between people. The more attraction and attachment we have, well, the more attachment we have, the more we are willing to put in investment. And for women, the more investment they get in the form that they want it, the more they're willing to commit and the more they feel safe. The boy mom thing, she's absorbing investment. She's taking it from him so he has less to give to a woman. And that's kind of trapping him because he's going to grow up thinking it's normal and not know how to navigate that. So that's abusive if that's happening. I don't like that when it's real. But also, I think people just say it's real sometimes because they hate families. Mercurial traveler. I somehow got a girlfriend. Ha. That's funny. And she's the nicest girl I ever met. Good. She was introduced to me by my family. Good. Seems very traditional. Good. And cooperative. Good, I guess. Any tips on how to not fuck this up? Yeah. Take it slow and be careful. And make sure that you do the right things. Like try to go try to lean toward the slow instead of fast. So if you're worried about doing the right thing at the right time and you're not sure, it's better to go slow than fast. It's better to wait until you know whatever the right time is for whatever it is that you want to do than to just go like I'm just going to be a man and do it. Um, make sure that you learn about frame and make sure that you know how to hold your frame. Make sure that you know the difference between having frame and holding frame and then just being a jerk and just saying, "Oh, I'm in charge of you." Make sure that if you want to not mess it up, take it slow and be sure that you know what you want from the relationship and that you are clear about it. I want to do this. I want to go here. I want to have this relationship with you. These are the things I want from you. This is the non-debatable things that I want from you. Like just know what they are and know how to get them and take it slow. And good job also. She sounds nice. Cal Kai Kai Salis. I want to dial in, focus on maxing mainly money for a few years before I start dating. How do I make time for socializing so I don't stay an autist and also not be distracted from said mission? That question might be out of my scope. You want to get money for a few years before you start dating. How do you make time for socializing? I mean, do you like your coworkers? This is not my area of expertise for sure. Socializing is like, I know where you should go and what you should do, but I don't have really any expertise at all in fitting socializing in between a lot of work. It sounds like you're going to be working like 80 hours a week. Um, yeah, see if you can make things overlap, see if you can socialize with the people you work with. See if you can develop habits of, regular places to go so that you don't have to think about where you're going to socialize. Uh, if you only have limited time to socialize, it should be, as convenient as possible. That is, I mean, there were a couple times in my life I kind of had to do that. I had a normal 9 to 5 job, which was not like what it sounds like what you're doing. And I had a very busy social life with my 9 to 5 job. And I would just bring a change of clothes to work and I would make sure that I knew where I was going before I left the house in the morning. And I don't know, plan it and make habits, I guess. It's really all I can say. White American, yeah, crap singles, yeah. It's the F tier. Yellow American's not better. American cheese is bad. What else is bad cheese? Like I guess you could say like Velveeta, but that's not really even cheese. What else do I really not like for cheese? I'm a fan of cheese. Mozzarella burrata Swiss, Parmesan, Oaxaca, sharp cheddar Edam. What else is awesome? Gorgonzola is okay. Okay, Roland Garfien, on the subject of parenting, how can I become a good parent? How can I tell if my partner will be a good mother? Okay, this is again a question that's kind of out of my scope. I am I am I am trying to, because I'm this age now where if I'm gonna have kids, it's gonna be soon, and I get money and everything. I have money now, and I'm thinking about what is it that would make me be a good father? What is it that constitutes that? And the way that I think about it is I compare myself to my father. I compare myself to my parents. And I think about what they did that did not work for me. And I think about what it was that I needed that I did not get from them. And I think about all of the things that I have learned in my life and how to apply it to break those patterns. That's the way that I go about it. When you say, how can I tell if my partner would be a good mother? You're looking for habits she has that are proxies for mothering. See how she is with pets. See how she is with if she can't keep a house plant alive, See how she treats people who don't matter to her. See how she treats the waiter. See how she like you do you know what I'm saying? Like look for behaviors that are proxies for parenting. Think about what it is that parenting involves. Paying attention to someone else's needs, providing what is needed. Look for behaviors like that in her and see how good she is at them. That's all that I can tell you. I don't know a whole lot about parenting, obviously. I'm not even close to being there, but that's all I can say. Tristan Schifano. There's a girl in my school I've liked for about a year. She doesn't like me. I'm pretty attractive, but I'm not high in the social food chain. How do you get higher up and get the girl? Do stuff that people like. So read the 48 Laws of Power. Okay. What was it, Tristan? Read the 48 Laws of Power and look for ways to make people rely on you. Do things, provide things that people need. Like if you live in the desert and you're the only guy with water, you can have any woman you want. You're the water guy, and everyone needs it or they die. Become important. Do something that people need you for. And if you can't do something that people need you for, then do something that people want you for. When I started playing guitar in high school, and I got good at it and I played it in the hallway, people would notice me and talk about me like they liked me and compliment me. And some of the girls were mean and told me that it was just noise and I should shut up. But then people would come to my aid. People would help me, and girls started liking me at that point. Do something that makes you needed or liked. Lanit gave me $2. Thank you. We've been dating for 2 weeks, and this weekend I'm inviting her over because she's told me the last 2 dates she's curious about more for me. Is third date fast for sex? Let her tell you, okay? If you think it's too fast, then it might be. I can't. I'm not sure to how to get any more clear about it. Like if you're not sure what to do, it's better to go slow than fast. So if you're thinking that you might mess it up by going too fast, then don't go too fast. I mean, is the third date fast? It depends who you are. It sounds like it's fast for her, based on the information you gave me. Sounds like it. Um, make sure that you're doing what she wants you to do. That's all. Kai Salis, to clarify, my work is solo content creation. Cool. So I'll be working from my computer at home most of the time. I have hobbies, but they're male dominated. What was your last question? I want to dial in and oh, okay. Yeah. So you're doing kind of like what I'm doing. How do I make time for socializing? I mean, could you get new hobbies, man? Could you go do girl stuff? There is a crystal shop down the street from me, and I've never been in there, but now that I'm making money, I think I might go in and see who works there because it's probably girls in their late 20s. and that is perfect. That's the kind of thing that you've got to do if you're working at home and if you do like video game stuff and there's no girls around or whatever your male dominated hobbies are, find whatever it is that is the largest overlap of what you like and what girls like. Like, I'm really lucky. I'm into spirituality. I'm just into it. I like it. I authentically like it. I'm not faking it. So I can talk to girls about astrology and crystals and all that, and they love it. Get into anything that you can that girls also like. Um, and I'm not saying fake it. I'm just saying try stuff. Try things that girls like. Like, go do yoga. Yoga is a workout, man. It's a good workout. Um, it's not just like stretching. It's really really tough on your muscles. You're gonna sweat and you're gonna get stronger. It's tough guy stuff. Yoga is really good for your body. Go do yoga. It'll be full of girls. Figure out the things that you like to do that girls also like to do. If you want to maximize your socializing, write a big list. Brainstorm it. Days of the week. Another spell that was cast around the 2000s was the college party movies. Oh, you mean like American Pie? They had those movies before. They had like Porky's was the one. They used to play that over and over on Comedy Central when I was a teenager. They had those for a while, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like Dude, Where's My Car? And it normalized hookup culture that has basically got us to where we are now. We lost the plot of life. That's been going on for a while. Revenge of the Nerds and Porky's. Um, but yeah, you're not wrong. The media does have that effect. I wish that people would realize that more. Got my cheese tears here. Not very much else. What's the best way to get over approach anxiety? Okay, so I've gone over this in a few videos. Go back and watch my video bird test stacks. Um, stacks fifth. Go back and watch my video bird test. What you want to do to get over approach anxiety is if here's you and here's her, right? And you want to talk to her, there's a context, okay? And if your context is you're on the subway, then that's not a good way to get over approach anxiety. And if your context is you're walking opposite ways on the street on your way to do errands, that's not a good way to do. But if you are at the same place at the same time, like let's say you're at an art gallery and there's some stupid picture of nothing, there's just shapes and squiggles, then what you can do is instead of going to her and saying, "Hello, I think you're beautiful," what you do is you go, "What do you think this means?" Just talk to her. You're holding a beer or whatever, or a glass of wine. She's got her red wine. And you just go, "What do you think this art is about? There isn't anything in there." And see how happy she is that you're talking to her. And then if she doesn't want to talk to you, then you don't have to get slammed with that whole like, "I think you're beautiful." And then she goes, "No, I don't want you to tell me that." Like, that's a very jarring experience. It's a lot less jarring if you have a proxy, if you have something to talk about so that you can have the plausible deniability of, "I just wanted to talk about art." That's the best way to soften the anxiety of the bad things that might happen if you approach. Also, just believe in yourself. I know that that's hard to do. It's easier to say than it is to do, but also believe that someone will like you, and you have to find out who. Janice Kipper, thoughts on leaving 8-year relationship after losing attraction? Already tried to fix it. I'm 25. F is my first relationship. I want to know why you lost attraction. I want to know what the problem is. Because is it him or is it just time? Is it just like we all get bored of each other sometimes? Or is it like did he get fat or something? Because if the problem is him and it's fixable, you have to tell him, like, I can't be with someone I'm not attracted to. And I want to give you every chance in the world to fix it, but you have to fix it because I'm not going to spend the rest of my life feeling no sexual connection to my partner. So get on that. But if that's not it, if it isn't like a thing that he can fix by getting in shape or wearing better clothes or brushing his teeth or whatever, then I'm not sure how to rekindle it. You might try spending time apart. Like, this is again sort of leaving my area of expertise. You might try spending time apart, uh, you know, sleeping in different rooms or something. Being around someone a lot can lead to that sort of just losing the spark. And if you have lives that are separate enough that it's like a pleasant surprise to see each other, then that might, what do they say? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Might work on the genitals too, I guess. Um, yeah, beyond that, I wouldn't know what to tell you. Like, I've never claimed to be a advanced, relationship expert. I'm all about the attraction and consciousness and the dating aspect. But deep into relationships, I'm not going to be able to have like, oh, here's how you get the spark back. Those would be the things that I would try if I was in that situation. Um, Maximus Lancaster, thank you. It's just some money. It looks like 20A. What is A? It says A 20. Is that Australian? Thank you. But yeah, what was it, Janice? Yeah, if it's something he can fix, you got to communicate real clearly, and you got to say, I need you to fix this." Roland Garfield, can you give some more examples of hobbies that girls might like as well? Well, yoga, crystals, spirituality. Girls are very often into like book clubs and movies and media, outside stuff, outdoors, sports. Um, One thing that's popular in cities is like pickleball or tennis or like badminton. Lots of girls do that. Physical stuff. Uh, Early morning sports before work. What else is there overlap? You might go out and do something artistic, like go to an open mic night uh, and listen to some musicians. Like every time I've gone to an open mic night, there's been just like handfuls of beautiful young women playing instruments. If you can play an instrument, or even if you just want to go listen, you can do that. What else? It's a good question. What else are girls into besides yoga, spirituality, crystals, Starbucks, dogs, hiking, badminton, pickleball? That's a great question. What else are they into that you would want to be into? I'm gonna have to do some research on that. What are other major girl things? Travel. I know they say that all the time. Traveling. It's on every single uh, dating profile. Thoughts on doing those activities while keeping a masculine frame? Well, it shouldn't be hard to do if you're doing something physical. Like being able to do yoga pretty well is not feminine. You should see what those guys do. Women are crazy about the yoga guys. Major 7. Here's a hypothetical. I have a really cute girl in my improv class. I want to ask her out, but I don't want to make things awkward for the rest of our 5-week class. What should I do? Get to know her gradually. Don't ask her out right away, but pay more and more attention to her. So as the class progresses and as time goes on, try to make yourself more available, try to bump into her a little bit more and see if she warms up to you. Because if she doesn't, like if she sees that you are obviously making yourself present and she doesn't warm up to you, then that's a hint that you should not ask her out. That like just going straight for it and asking her out is only gonna work if she likes you. Um, Sometimes women say yes when they don't like you, but they usually regret it. So it's only gonna be worthwhile if she likes you, and you're gonna be able to tell if she likes you or not by seeing how much she wants to talk to you. You have 5 weeks to figure it out. You have plenty of time. So interact with her. And if she seems to enjoy interacting with you and it gets warmer and you start feeling sparks, then you ask her out. Maximus Lancaster. That's a great name. I think you'd enjoy a book by Betty Edwards, Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. I will write it down. Drawing on the right side of the brain. That was terrible television. Just me writing down a book recommendation. Thank you for the recommendation. Gorillad sent me $1. Thank you. Okay, did I get to all the questions? I did. All right, fan funding. Live chat. Do you have drawing courses? No. I don't know how to draw, Ali. This is not good stuff. Oh, do you guys want to see some of my drawings? I'm working on better stuff. I am making things for you. Well, I'm making them for me, but I'm going to share them with you. Look, I got this big folder. I'm drawing Utah. I visited Utah a few years ago. So I'm drawing it. These are the arches. I think that's pretty good. And then I'm going to add this texture to all these rocks, and there's a cliff there. I don't know if you can see the pencil. And then I drew a fish for some reason. I don't know why I did that. There's a fish jumping out of a lake, and then there's the fisherman over there, the fishing line. So, no, I do not have a drawing course. That's the best I can do. And also, I guess I should just show you this one. People sometimes ask me to draw Nintendo characters. So I drew Toad from Mario for you. There we go. And he's saying he's a mushroom man, right? So he's growing up out of the ground, and he's like, this is where the mushroom people come from. They spring from the earth. And he's saying, from the filth of nature's eternal death, I am born again to suffer. So he's growing from the soil is all dead matter with ground up rocks. And he's not into it. He doesn't want to. And then there's a coin block over here because, wee. So that's, um, and I don't know about like, as I was drawing these things, I was wondering if there are nerve endings in there because sometimes the mushrooms attach to the ground like that. And I hope that this is not painful for Toad, but he has to go save the princess. So I made that for you as well. Okay, I got some more paid ones. Okay, I get a kick out of when you like my comments on TikTok. Good. I like liking them. I have nothing but time. I am so glad that I do TikTok and YouTube full time because I can interact with everybody and they enjoy it. I really can't wait to make more videos too. I've had a rough few days. I'm having sleep problems, and the last few days I think I made one video in the last 3 days, but people seem to like it, and that is very rewarding. So thanks for liking my stuff. Thank you, Martin. Days of the Week is back. Don't win most women like you, they will. Don't win most women like you. They will try to naturally ease themselves into the girlfriend position. Automatic response. At least my opinion. I'm trying to read that sentence. Don't win most women like you. They will try to. Are you saying like when? When women like you, they try to get into the girlfriend position? Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Go back and watch what was the name of that video? There was the Ow My Heart, that one. Free Trial. Go back and watch Free Trial. When they like you, they will not let you say no. They just go, "I'm your girlfriend now," and you go, "No," and they go, "Yes." Um, that will happen when they like you enough. Some nerd. Any advice for approach anxiety? I just answered that question. Just trying to tell a girl she's pretty is about as difficult as grabbing a spider with my bare hands. I just answered that question. I'll go over it again. It's the illustration for it is right here. My best advice for approach anxiety is don't just go and tell a girl that she's pretty, but go somewhere where you have something to talk about. So this is a piece of stupid modern art that doesn't mean anything, and this is you holding a beer, and then this is a girl holding a glass of red wine. Let me just get the beer color and the red wine color. Okay, gotta make this nice. It's the red wine, and there's your beer. Ooh, I bought beer today. I'm gonna have a beer later. I'm excited. I'm gonna have beer and grilled cheese. And then here's dumb art, and I'll make the art dumb too. So instead of going up to her and saying, "You're pretty, I like you," what you do is you say, "What the hell do you think this is about?" And you see whether or not she wants to talk to you. Having a buffer like that can make it a lot less difficult because you don't have to go put all of your feelings out in the open and then get rejected. Just take advantage of anything that you can to relate to her so that you don't have to just attack, and that'll soften, like, if you're not good at it, that'll soften things while you're learning. Cole Lecky is back. Tips on repairing the damage from emotional incest raised by lesbians. Oof, that question started out hard. Raised by lesbians and really starting to realize the difference in how I was socialized and how it's impacting how I interact with women. Good question. Repairing the damage, if in order to repair the emotional damage from how you were raised, what you need is new emotional experiences. And you need not only the new emotional experiences, but you need also to believe them more than your old ones. So you need to make a conscious decision that the old way you thought about things is not the way that you want. And you need to recognize it and journal about it and notice yourself doing it. And then you're going to go have new emotional experiences and you're going to say, "These are who I am. These are the ones that define me." You're not going to be able to just tweak it at home. You're going to have to go get new relationships. Now, I don't know what kind of damage you might have. I can't imagine this. If you were raised by lesbians and something happened to you because of that that makes you not socialized properly, I can't imagine what that is. But you definitely are going to have to go get experiences that are more normal and choose them. Believe in them more. Okay, just trying to under says intransigence video. Can you expand on girls who wear lots of makeup every day? What's the psych beside not showing yourself or hiding parts? They feel like they have to do it or people won't like them. That's the most common answer. They say I'm forced to wear all this makeup. It isn't my choice. I have to because if I don't, then people will be disgusted with me and they'll fire me from my job and they'll burn me at the stake. You know, they come up with all these stories about how horrible people are going to be to them if they don't do the makeup thing. And then there are girls who wear no makeup at all and look perfectly beautiful and they never care what people think of them. It's that psychological attachment to everyone is thinking about me. Everyone is thinking about me. Everyone is thinking about my looks. Everyone is looking at me and thinking about my looks. That I find is pretty closely related to how much makeup she wears every day. If she's going hard on the makeup every day, plucking all the hairs, you know, bright red lipstick, the whole face made up, I find that psychologically the normal reason for that is that she doesn't think people will think she's good enough unless she does it. And the girls who I have met who wear zero or very little makeup have just been the easiest to get along with and the most emotionally rewarding to be around. The heavy makeup girls I have found are the most difficult to get anything out of them. They they behave the way that they think you want them to. They don't be themselves as much. They go, "Guys like it when you do this, so I'll do this," and it's very fake. It's very inauthentic. Um, that's my take on the psychology of it. So, I'm not saying avoid anyone who wears any makeup ever. I'm just saying I think that's kind of why. That's all. Rowan Budai. What's your thoughts on spiritually opening people up to magical thinking? Doesn't it stop from facing realities they don't like? Ooh, let me think about that one. What are my thoughts on spiritually opening people up to magical thinking? Doesn't it stop them from facing realities that they don't like? I mean, I guess so. I'm not sure if I understand your question. When you say magical thinking, do you mean the style of thinking wherein people think that something will happen just because they want it to? Like the secret, like the law of attraction? Doesn't it stop them from facing realities they don't like? Yeah, I think you're right about that. If I'm understanding your question correctly, I think that people use that kind of thinking to just pretend like everything is good when it's not, and I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have in our society is people just saying everything's fine when everything's not fine. It's like that cartoon with the dog, the comic strip with the dog in the burning house, and he's drinking tea or something and the house is burning down around him and he goes, "This is fine. Everything's fine." He takes a sip of coffee and then his arm is melting off. Everything's fine. I think that's how magical thinking works, if I'm understanding you correctly. Rushi Patil, how to get really good at sexual escalation. Okay, same answer as before. Go slow. Go slow at first and make sure that you're talking to a woman who wants you to escalate very much, like she's very into it, and then go slow and do what you know, and pay attention to what she likes and what she doesn't like. And here's a big thing for me: ask questions. Like if you are not sure what to do next, sometimes it's not a bad idea to say, "How would you like it if? How would you like it if I did this?" That's sometimes not a bad idea. When I was very, very early on in my career, so to speak, um, I would just ask my girlfriends. I would just go, "Do you like this? Do you like what do you like? Tell me what you want me to do." And they would tell me, and then I would do it, and they would go, "That was perfect." So that's true of everything from, you know, where she wants to eat all the way up to the act itself. Pay a lot of attention to how she responds. So if you do that, if you pay attention and you ask questions when she allows you to, because some girls will be like, "Ew, he asked. He should just know," and that's irritating. But when you have enough experiences doing that properly, you're gonna it'll get into your blood. You'll learn what to do, and at some point, if you do it enough, you'll just kind of be like, "Oh, look, an opportunity," and then you'll know exactly what to do with it. Take it slow. Gorillad, help with ritzy small town farming girls. Move? Wow, that's confusing. Ritzy small town farming girls? So they're girls that live on a farm in a small town, but they're wealthy and fashionable? I don't know about these girls. I've never seen such a thing. Um, the answer that I can give you to your question is if you don't like the girls where you are, then yes, you should move. I don't know how else to help you with that one. Do you are they not likable for some reason? Are they too ritzy? They need more money than you have? Deus Volt gave me 199. My fans. Deus Volt to you too. Play pundit. How do I tell a longtime friend that I have become attracted to them, and I am curious if we would be compatible romantically? Okay, that is the whole, my guy friend is coming on to me thing that women don't like. Um, I'm assuming you're a guy and she's a girl, right? So if you have become attracted to her and you want to know if you would be compatible romantically, you should probably know that you would probably see signs of it if she felt the same way. Um, it's a very, very common thing for a girl to want a guy friend, and then the guy friend says, "Hey, now I like you," and the girl goes, "Ugh." So be careful that you don't do that. Um, just like all the other examples, there are ways to tell if she feels certain ways about you. If you have no clues whatsoever, like if you have no idea at all about whether or not she likes you that way, then it's probably not like a 50-50 shot. It probably means that she doesn't. And the best way to do it is instead of just coming out and saying it, start behaving like a boyfriend would. So I'm going to give you an example of a client that I had. I told him about how to, be masculine and take charge and pay for the date and all that stuff. And then he went and did it for a girl who he wasn't dating and who he wasn't interested in, and she wasn't interested in him either. But he did it anyway just to see how it would work. And the girl got really uncomfortable because he was like getting the door for her and, picking up the check and everything. And she started getting uncomfortable because she recognized it as I'm interested in you behavior, and that's not how they were. So if you start doing things like that for her and she likes it, good sign. And if you start doing things like that for her and she doesn't like it, bad sign. So you don't really have to come out and say, I am in love with you now. It's not necessary to do that. You can just start doing boyfriendy things for her. And if she likes it, then you're in luck. Okay. Maximus Lancaster wants me to draw a flower with my left hand. Okay. Let's see if I can do it. It's taken me a minute. Can you see that? Is that visible? Let's draw the red on it. There you go. There's your $5 flower with my left hand. Put the red in and then go back for the pink tones. I am very talented. I can do many things well, even with my left hand. There you go. Stem and everything. Bruce Wayne message retracted. Why did you retract it? And why did you name yourself after Batman? People are just going on YouTube and saying that they're Batman. That's the world we live in. People just go on the internet and lie. Lost a pen. There we go. Where is the dark brown? There it is. Finish this up. The little shadow on the leaf. There we go. And you can just imagine that Depeche Mode is playing as I'm drawing. All right. You're welcome. Bruce Wayne message retracted. That's too bad. Life is throwing the bachelor lifestyle at me. Yeah, me too. That's D's subs. Women are approaching me, just want to be a family man with a wife and kids and get out of the dating world. What will a lot of hookups hurt my chances of finding a wife? Eh, not really. Remember that, you know, women like men that are popular. So if you are hooking up here and there and women catch wind of it, they might just think of you as a hot property, maybe. Um, Too many will hurt your chances. Like anybody racking up bodies is going to hurt your ability to bond in a relationship. If you've got like 100, that's not going to be ideal. What I would say is, while you are in this phase of life, try to enjoy some of it, but don't go overboard and don't be going home with girls that you don't actually really like. I would say that the number one thing I would change about my history is that I would have just said no to all of the girls who I couldn't see being in a relationship with, like sleeper and below. I would just have not had any of these relationships. I would have only gone home with the ones that I felt this way about. That's how I respond to your question. That's my answer. Only go with the keepers. And if they say no to you and they don't want to ultimately be with you, then you did your best at least. God damn it. Hang on, my stuff is falling. Okay. Too many drawings. Okay, there we go. All right, Deus Vult again. The Buddhist proverb is the diviner within us all. Okay, and I think magic is just holding a conversation. Okay, I understand. Are you looking for a new name? How about psychomath? It really doesn't have the same ring to it. Um, I was just thinking of keeping ho math, but just turning it into like Herald of Evolution or something, and then like Matthew principle. I think it was Matthew like 1:13 or something. So I would just make it biblical. I don't know. Like I might have to get a new name because it's so annoying, but also it's funny and it's working for me. And I meet a lot of really quality women through Hellmath. So it's not excluding them. So I'm not sure what to do. Bruce Wayne, how do I manage STD risk while dating? Get to know them. Like, don't go home with anyone who um, wouldn't care about hurting you. Um, do you need to ask every girl to get tested beforehand? I mean, you can. It's not a bad idea. You say you're concerned about oral herpes. I guess you should be. I don't have that, but I don't ever see people really suffering from it either. I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that one. I don't know what that one would be like. Um, It's reasonable to ask them to get tested beforehand. That's reasonable. A lot of girls have asked me to get tested beforehand, and I always do it. It's normal to do that. Cobra Max, $1. Thank you, Cobra. Janice Kipper. To clarify, nothing he can do. Oh, okay. Was attracted at 16, but not as an adult. But I'm scared to date in the adult world. Not sure what to do. Expect. I mean, if you really can't stay and you really can't get the attraction back, does he know? Have you had a conversation with him? Um, if he knows and you've spoken to him about it and there's nothing that you can do and you really don't want to be in the relationship anymore, then I think that you just have to be, as amicable about that as possible. Um, Scared to date in the adult world, you should be. It's getting bad out there. Everyone is unhappy with it. Not sure what to do. Expect you're going to have a lot of disappointing experiences, probably. I mean, I don't know what you look like or who you are, but it's going to be tough. Most people report having some unpleasant experiences. Um, I mean, my advice for that situation is you have to know what you need. I can't tell you what you need. You have to know like how much do you value this relationship that you're in? Is it worth the way that you feel? Is it worth working on it to try to get it back? Like if there's nothing he can do, like he can't change anything. He can't lose weight, he can't get a different haircut, he can't dress different, he can't be a different person, he can't be a stronger person. It's just there's nothing he can do. If there's nothing he can do, then you have to deal with you're never going to be attracted to him again. And if that's true, then you have to deal with do you leave to find someone you're attracted to, or do you stay with someone who you're never going to like again? It's just you have to measure that for yourself. I can't measure it for you. How much do you need that? If you 100% definitely need it and you're 100% definitely sure you're not going to get it from him, then it's time to have a conversation and just say, look, it's nothing you did, or maybe it was something he did. I don't know. But I just have to. I have to do this for me, and I'm sorry, and all that stuff. And then get ready for some disappointment because the dating scene is ugly. Not that I'm discouraging you, but my advice would be to sit down with yourself and make sure that that's the move you want to make. Make sure you're making the right move. You know, like assess what you're losing and what you stand to gain and make sure it's the right trade. And I guess one more thing, when you do get out and start dating, like make sure that these men are proving that they like you. Make sure that you secure your investment. Give them quests. Give the men quests to do. Say, if you want to move to the next step with me, you must satisfy this requirement, and that's going to screen out the ones that don't really like you. The JJ man. In my dating life, I've noticed that people in general have been through adversity like poverty or natural disaster tend to be more mature and more realistic than normal people. What's your take on that? Yeah, difficult experiences make you grow up. Yep. Like there's a reason that people like Logan Paul are intolerable. Like I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that, but it's my impression that Logan Paul is like a spoiled brat kind of person. And it's like he's like this tall, gorgeous guy, right? He's like this really good looking guy and he grew up rich and has everything. And if you are so likable in that regard, then you don't ever have to struggle with anything. So people who struggle through stuff, they have to find out how to be from the inside. Let's draw a heart here. Something that is valuable. Like you have to be something that's valuable from within you. Whereas people who never had to do that, they just go, I'm valuable as I am, even though I'm a piece of garbage and everyone is afraid of me and I'm rude to the waiter. Um, so yeah, people who've been through difficult experiences, like imagine Have pity on me for a moment and imagine how difficult my life must have been. If you're here because you like my advice and you think I know a lot of stuff and I'm really smart, imagine how much I had to go through to turn myself into this. Um, yeah, 100%. I agree that that's a thing. People who went through hard times are going to be like stronger on the inside. Yep. Um, I don't know what else to say for what's my take on that. My take on it is that it's true and that it's a very deep principle of the universe. When people go through hard times like poverty or abuse or natural disaster or whatever, they get stronger on the inside. And when you lift weights, your muscles get stronger. It's resistance. And there are some trees that if they grow in a place where there's no wind, they just fall over. They just don't have the strength to stand up on their own because the wind pushes them around and it stresses them, and that's how they gain the strength to stand up straight. So it's a universal principle of nature. Resistance causes strength. So when you have resistance in your life, it causes inner strength. Jordan Richmond, should a nice guy also try to develop bad boy traits? Yes. Also, Camembert is right here. Are you asking me where I would put Camembert on the chart because it's right there, or are you asking me what is Camembert? It's a soft cheese like brie. It's pretty good. When I go get cheese from the store, I always get mozzarella, burrata, Swiss, Parmesan. Um, if Edam is there, I get the cheddar. I haven't had Oaxaca cheese in years, but I get Camembert like 2 or 3 times a year. I really don't get C cheeses. I get B cheeses a few times a year. I get the A and the S cheeses every time I go. And yeah, you should try to develop bad boy traits for sure. And again, to be clear, it doesn't mean be bad. It just means look good, dress well, be in charge, be formidable. That's the word. That's your new vocab word. Be formidable. Be realistically a threat. Don't do bad things, but let people know that you could do what you needed to if you needed to, for sure. 39, business owner, puff. Work alone, 6'3". Too late? No, not for you. Um, do you look good? How attractive are you? If you're 39, you own a business and you're making money, and you're 6'3", it's not. You got another 10 to 15 years before it's too late. You'll be fine as long as you're not like hideous. If you're a decent looking guy and you're that tall and you have money, I don't know what you're even asking me for. You should be doing fine. Car chub. As a man, what am I doing wrong around women that they decide I'm one of the girls to share gossip with? Oh, you're probably too nice. And I'm the one exception anytime they mention men are trash. You're probably too nice. You probably are like, let me get that for you and let me listen to you. And yeah, I understand you. Does that ring true, Car Chub? Does that sound like you? Are you very available? Are you always available? That makes women like having men to talk to, but they don't like it when the men turn it all sexual right away. Um, Not all the time. Sometimes that is what they're looking for. But sometimes girls want a guy friend who they can just rely on. And if you are very available, then that will become you. So you have to kind of, when you like a girl, remember that investment is your what you're protecting. The way that women have to protect their body. Let's get zones out. The way that women have to use their body as a bargaining chip. Like you can't just give it away to everyone. You can't give away your investment to everyone, and that is quality time, support, commitment, emotional bonding, lifestyle change. You can't just be handing it out. because then you're end up here. You have to get these traits and then um, make her earn them by offering what you want from her. So I think that it's what's most likely happening is that you're handing this stuff out like Halloween candy and you're just being everyone's ending up in everyone's friend zone. So when you like a girl, be a little bit more stingy with it. Nothing for free. Sound overdose. What's a universal way to integrate well with almost every social clique having opposite interests? I prefer the metal scene, but every clique builds walls. Um, I think your question means that you have are you saying you have several social cliques and they have opposite interests? And you're asking me what's a universal way to integrate into all of them or integrate people from each into each other? I'm not sure if I understand. What's a universal way to integrate well with almost every social clique having opposite interests? I'm not sure what that means. I prefer the metal scene, but every clique builds walls. I'm not sure how to answer the question. I don't know what it means. I'm sorry. I'll try to come back to it. Martin Durkin, how do I get my dog to stop digging in the yard? I don't know about dogs. Um, get a new dog. I don't know how to answer dog questions. John St. Silva. In terms of pair bonding, is there a difference if you only sleep with 10 girls but average 20 times each versus 100 different girls, which is what? Yes, yes. It's the number of partners. So you're doing more damage to your pair bonding ability if you're with 30 girls in one night compared to being with one girl 10,000 times. It's what you're doing is the metaphor is tape. So if you take duct tape and you peel it off the roll and you stick it on something and peel it off and stick it on something and peel it off and stick it on something and peel it off every time, it gets less sticky, right? And so that's what your heart is doing. Like your heart is bonding with someone and then you peel it off and then you bond again and you peel it off. And every time it's like once you get to a certain amount of heartbreak, then in your next relationship, you have all the baggage. Baggage makes it hard to bond with people. And you can only get one person's worth of baggage. Like if you're with one girl for 5 years and you break up, you don't get like 5 years of baggage is not more. It's one person of baggage. So I have a ton of baggage because there were just like I think 35, 34 or 35 women who I liked who didn't wanna be with me, and it's like, ugh, I have to remember 35 people for the rest of my life? That's damage. Um, but on the other hand, there were some girls that um, was with hundreds of times, and then we broke up amicably, and I have no baggage from that. So it's the number of people, yeah. Very, very much so. Leave name as Homath. Okay, it's John Brill. Thank you. It is part of the persuasion. It is to the point and establishes expectations. Completely on the point branding. I think you're right. Thank you, John. John Brill. Brill Knight. Purple Drank. Homath. As a 5'6" Latino male who has endured abuse from parents and is scarred from war. Oh, I'm sorry about that. It sucks. How do I ensure that I stay at a higher level of cognition when anger takes hold? That's that's like a therapy question. If you have a history of abuse and you've been to war and war was hard and you're struggling with anger, it's just like most in the moment problems, it's going to be all about slowing down. It's going to be about slowing down and making the correct decisions slowly. So if you're getting angry in some situation, can you remove yourself? If you're at work, can you recognize I'm getting angry? I'm going to go to the bathroom. Can you do something like that? Get away from what's causing it, slow down, and then use your brain to think about what is the decision I should make. So you can't just be letting this win, and it goes, make this bad decision, make the bad decision, get get away from the situation until this part of your brain can come online and just go, what is the correct decision? Slowing it down and taking time is really the best thing I can say for that. Um, and you're training yourself to get better at it over time. If you keep making the same mistake, it'll never change. But if you start forcing yourself out of the situation until you can think about thinking, then you will learn new habits. Days of the week. Stay dangerous, don't stay safe. Don't stay safe. Safes get cracked. That's funny. Nuln Oil Tycoon. Nuln? Is that Nuln or Nuin? Nuin. For male promiscuity, it may be something to do 1 to 2 times, but really you will regret every stolen heart or exploited farm girl you take. Yeah, especially if you become a parent. Yeah, that's right. That I think that you're kind of answering the other guy's question. Um, yeah, I do regret a lot of it. Like there were a lot of girls who I didn't really like at all, but it was just fun to sleep with them for a while, and they some of them have broken hearts, and I didn't really even know it at the time. I just kind of went, "Well, I told her I didn't want to," and then I grew up a bit and I realized they were just hoping that would change with time. And that's I mean, you don't wanna do that to people. Midwest Brandon says, "How do I detach from on again, off again, quiet borderline X?" Is there something called quiet borderline? Or are you just saying that she's a quiet person and has borderline? Um, I mean, if you wanna detach from someone, go no contact. Don't talk to her. The more time that you spend away from something, the more that you like, my entire life was built around the last place I lived. I had the perfect apartment and I was doing the perfect thing with my life. I was following my dreams. Everything was going well. Um, I was, surrounded by women, quality women all the time. I lived in a dense area and I could just Uber for money anytime I wanted. I had it made. My life was made. And that was only 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago that I left. And time has passed. And now I really don't feel like I'm there anymore. It feels like quiet. It's like muffled. It's like off in the distance. It's gone away. It's like this now. It's not like this anymore. It's in the past. Time will make that happen. Keep busy. DJ Salty Nuts. You folks and your screen names. When you're in the talking phase to women in general, is it important to be very clear? No. How can one go above the talking phase? When you're in the talking phase to women in general, it's important to. Oh, okay. It's a question. It's important to be very clear. No. How can one go above the talking phase? Be direct. Be direct. Every time I've been in the talking phase with girls, I have said to them, "Hey, would you like to do a definite thing at a definite time? There is a beer hall near me. Would you like me to buy you a glass of sour beer or whatever it is that you drink?" Um, and if they don't do it, then I move on. If you're in a talking phase and you say, "Let's go on a date," like be definite, be decisive. So yeah, it's important to be clear. Yeah, you go above the talking phase by making the move, and if she doesn't agree to the move, then that's like a sign. Don't play games. I really just recommend against playing games. Like a lot of girls, you have to play games with them, and they will make you do this thing. Like if you like her, then she doesn't like you, and if you chase her, then she runs away, and if you stop chasing, then she comes to you. But then if you like her, then she doesn't like you anymore. A lot of girls will make you do that, and I recommend just don't. Just let them figure themselves out. I hate that. days of the week. Getting angry at things you can't control is for women and children. It solves nothing and is emotion based. Men exist to fix problems. Yeah, but some men are broken and have problems that are out of their control. So you're not wrong. But on the other hand, that's not helpful for someone who's struggling. So that's kind of what I'm here for. Not everyone can just go, I'm a man and I'm strong. Sometimes it's a little out of your control. When I lived in that place I was just talking about in the city, there was a guy who I saw for the whole time I lived there. I was there for almost 10 years. And the whole time I lived there, I saw this homeless guy outside. And sometimes he was with a social worker who was trying to help him. And he never got even a little bit better. He was just always screaming and dirty, and he was a vet. I think it was also, I think it was Iraq. He had signs saying that he fought in Iraq. And I'm sure that plenty of people told him that men are just strong and exist to solve problems, but it didn't do shit for him. So you're not wrong, but also I'm here to get into the fine details and see what I can do for people. Okay, it is 12:30, so I've been doing this for 2.5 hours. How about that? I've been doing this for 2.5 hours, and there are 1,100. There we go. 1,133 people here. That's amazing. I could keep going, I guess. Who wants me to keep going and who wants me to just go to bed? I'll go to the live chat. Asking body count is a fool's errand, yeah. You can't just ask for it. It doesn't, yeah, it's not gonna go that way. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, everyone says, okay, I've got one rest, I've got one go to bed, I've got one keep going, go, go, go. I need sleep. Well, you can go, Hannah. I'm not, you don't have to wait for me to go to bed. We don't live together. Aren't you having sleep problems? Yes, but I want to go eat a grilled cheese. I want to make myself a sandwich. Um, Go to bread. That was a Simpsons reference. Go to bread. Keep talking, keep talking. Okay, I got more keep goings. I'll do another little while. Okay. Aaron Mason. In zones, I fall into her good situationship. I want to move up, but she's recently separated. We're both 26. Should I continue investing? So you're in the good situationship. That means that you are the one not committing to her, or is she the one not committing to you? Because if she's the one not committing to you, then you would be. I mean, if she's in the, you said, where is she? Recently separated. We're both 26. If she's the one not committing to you, then you wouldn't be in the good situationship. You'd be in settly or a husbandy zone area, and she would just be like not ready. Um, if she is crazy about you and you don't want to go into the relationship, then that would be the good situationship area. What is it that's preventing it from becoming a relationship? That's the question. Is it her? And you say, should I continue investing, working on a long term partner? So when you say I'm working on a long term partner, that means that's what you want eventually. Um, I'm gonna assume that because you said she's recently separated, that she's the one who's hitting the brakes on the being together. And if that's true, then I mean, how recently was she separated? She might need some time. You might need to check and see if you're a rebound. Um, you can't remember no matter what the situation is, you can't expect a relationship to escalate because you're investing. The investing is what you do to cement the relationship. So when she wants to be with you, then you invest in her and she goes, okay, yes, let's do this. But if you are investing and she's saying, no, I'm not ready, more investment is not the answer. That's not how you do it. You should do, if you really, really want to be with her long term, you should do more bad boy stuff and not more good guy stuff if that's the case. Because she's got to want it more. She's got to want to be with you more. And you should demonstrate how cool and awesome you are and how dumb it would be to lose you. And then when she goes, "You know what? I'm really digging you." Then you invest. Because I think that's what's happening from what you said. You should make the grilled cheese on stream. That's funny. Um, I don't think my camera would make it. I have a 6-foot cord, and my sandwich maker is over there. Yeah, I do make a fine grilled cheese. I steam a good ham. Oh, you're welcome, Aaron. See, I should read the regular chat. Sometimes people say important things in it. R cameo. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Kamil says, if sleeping around affects men, what is the best way not to become affected by it without waiting until marriage as a virgin? Let me parse that question. If sleeping around affects men, which it does to some extent, what is the best way not to become affected by it without waiting till marriage? Oh, just be reasonable. Like, don't have sex until you're getting into a stable relationship. You can get into a few. You can get it. Like, y- the ideal number of partners to have before marriage is something like 4 or 5. Because if you have none, you're going to always be curious, or 1 or 2 or 3. You're just going to go, did I make the right choice? What else was out there? Um, you know, practice. Date someone for a year or 2. It doesn't have to be 0. Be reasonable. Cobra Max. I've been alone for 8 or 9 years. Yeah. Yep. Feel it. If I ask a girl out, it takes me months to recover from the rejection. What's your best advice to overcome rejection? You got to like yourself more. You have to feel better about your value. You have to know that. So I'm at the point where I've been rejected so many times that I don't even want to talk to anyone anymore. I got ghosted a little while ago. We set up a date and then she just didn't answer on that day, and it feels really really bad. It ruined my week. Like my whole week I was just like, "Oh, that sucked. That was really unpleasant." Um but I'm not taking it personally because there's been loads of women who thought that I was awesome, and there still are. Like, I'm getting old and there are still some women who think I'm pretty great. Um that's what you need to do. That's what you need to focus on. Like, it's gonna like rejection hurts and there's nothing you can do about that, but you need to focus on that someone is going to like you. And, don't get in that dark place that's like, oh, it's never going to happen for me and I don't have what it takes. You just look at what you do have and realize that it's for someone. It is for someone. So that'll help you deal with the pain, but the pain isn't gonna just stop. Like, I'm at the point where I don't wanna feel it anymore, so I'm not trying. I'm not going out. Fenrir says, "I wish you did coaching or just to talk. When will you offer it again?" After I make a lot of content. I really need to. Like, I did coaching this last month, and it was great, and I helped some people, and it was fun and everything, but I make about as much money making content, maybe more, and I need to like, the content goes out to hundreds of thousands of people. My last, Zone's got like 800 no, what I think it was like 350 or 400,000 hits, and Level's got 1.5 million. That's I gotta do that. I have to spend more time on that. I've got this thing that I made and I never shot the video. This is for Brian from whatever. He wanted me to analyze this whole I'm a 10 thing, so I made this for him. I'm working on this is my preliminary hot crazy matrix. I'm um I'm changing all of the values. So I'm making one for men and one for women, and it's the it's so it's delta hot. It's the difference between your attractiveness level and her attractiveness level versus how crazy she is. And then this is Delta Hot versus how stupid he is. So I'm doing a whole comparison between how women get crazy and jealous and how men get stupid and go, "Oh, I can like the Instagram model," and they don't get it. Um so I mean, like you can see how much work this takes. I can't do that if I'm coaching. So it might be a little while before I do it again. I'm sorry to say, because I know a lot of people want to talk to me, but all I can say is I will let you know when it's back. Days of the week says sex is for making babies. Relationships are about experience of life with someone you love, maintaining your health and overcoming problems. Yeah. Yeah. It's not gonna excuse me. It's not gonna stop people from wanting sex though. But again, you're not wrong. You're pretty consistent with that. Not wrong. Lift heavy thing, says Ngrams. Yeah, true. True. Michael, is it bad that I've had 16 different sexual partners at 19, having only loved one of them being the first? Yeah, that's too much. You should slow down. You should make sure you like the next one and be with her for a while. That's faster than I went, I think. I got to 11 at 18 and then I was at I think 12 at 19. You're going faster than me. Slow down. Woo Lee says, "Why is my girlfriend annoyed when I refuse to help our common female acquaintances for free?" Huh, that's interesting. Um, why is she annoyed when you refuse to help? Help them with what? Like screwing in light bulbs and stuff? I think she wants to show off how useful you are. You know, it's nice to have a useful guy. If you're a woman, you're dating a man, it's like, hey, look at what he can do. She wants you to be nice to people she likes. That's good guy stuff. That's investment. What she's asking for investment by proxy and you're not giving it and she's like, "Come on, do the invest thing. Be nice to my friends." I think you should do it more. Anonymous asks, "When is Self Max coming out?" I'm pretty close to being done writing it. I'm pretty close. I keep working on it and every time I work on it, I keep thinking this is the last thing and then I add more stuff. It's a lot. I'm making other content. Just watch that for now, but it's coming out. I promise. What's the best date you've ever been on? Ooh, I know the answer to that. Um, I used to live when I lived in the city that I always talk about, that last place that I was. I lived in a building that was next to a beer hall. There was like a beer restaurant. There's a sign right here. And it's the staircase. And I just like lived right here. And I met a girl on I think it was Tinder or Bumble or something. And I came outside and met her, and she was standing here. And she was wearing like this Renaissance fair dress, and her hair was in a braid. And she was really tall. And she was, she wasn't a 10 or anything. But she was cute. She was like a good, I don't know. She's was within one of my types. Like she was tall and thick, and I'm into that. So here's me, and then she was like slightly taller than me, and like a broad-bodied, not fat, but like a thick girl. And she was wearing this Renaissance fair dress with like fringy stuff and the hair in the braid. And the first thing that she said to me was, "Hey, I thought that you were 6'3". And I was like, "What?" And she said, "Your profile said you were 6'3". And I said, "No, I didn't say that. Check my profile." And she took out her phone and checked it. And she said, "Okay, you're right. I was thinking about someone else." And I said, "Do you still want to go on the date?" And she was like, "Yeah, of course." Like it didn't matter to her that much. So like there was a fun little interaction that we had right at the start where it was like, isn't dating silly? You're talking to other guys, I'm talking to other girls. but you like me anyway. So that's like how it started with this little like, yes, this is going well regardless. And long story short, we went in, we had the date, we talked, we had some moments of connection in here that I would describe if I had more time. But there were just some moments of like infinitely deep eye contact and knowing each other very deeply for a first date. And then she just came right upstairs with me and her clothes just exploded and went all over the place. She just ripped them off. And it was probably the I would say I think it was the best sexual experience either one of us had. That's what she said to me. She told me, I've never had been never been this good." And I felt pretty much the same too. So, for whatever reason, which I'm not really sure how to explain it, but for whatever reason, it was just like the best connection I've ever had. And, I think it was the highest that I'd ever gotten my hopes for, like, this is someone who's going to stick around. And I don't know why I thought of that when you said what's the best date you've ever been on, because that was definitely the most exciting date that I've ever been on, but it ended with her saying that she had a boyfriend and she was just like upstairs cheating on him with me. So then that was not the best date that I've ever been on, but it was the first part of it was. So, I don't know, a lot of experiences like that. That's what I'm looking for is that intense connection. And that was had never been stronger than that. Like, I think about her I can't remember her name, and I think about her all the time. What ended up happening to her, I just didn't when I found out she was cheating, I didn't talk to her again. I don't wanna date someone who cheats. 13 KFPS says, "Meaning of life. The meaning of life is to constantly be in an upward trajectory." So, you don't have to be happy, but you do have to be making something better. This is why people are miserable in dead end jobs because they're not going anywhere. This is why people get sick of relationships that get stagnant. It's the same thing every day. You have to be going somewhere better. And that's the only consistent meaning that life has. Yeah, self improvement is a part of it. It doesn't have to be self improvement, it can be just doing the same thing over and over again. Um, it can be like if you build houses for a living and you do the same thing every day and you're building neighborhoods, and then, at the end of your life you look out over your work. If you're a mother and you're just having kids, then you grow up and look at your family, but it's always more. So you don't have to be better than you were the day before, but your life has to be better than it was the day before. And that could mean working on yourself or working on your world. The worst date I've ever had was another girl I met on an app, and she showed up looking absolutely nothing like her pictures, and she was also terrible to talk to and pushy. And then she invited me to go home with her, and I said no. And she tried to like bribe me with. She said that she would buy me pizza and she had beer, and it was like she was a lot older than she said she was, and it was horrible. Like I just the moment that I saw her, I was like, I have to get the hell out of here. She looked hot in her pictures, and I showed up, and she was like, I guess I shouldn't be mean, but not hot." And then she was really unpleasant to talk to on top of that. Like, I gave it a shot. I gave it a shot after getting catfished, and then it was miserable, and then she kinda wouldn't let go. She was like, "Why are you not coming home with me?" And it's like, "'Cause there's nothing I like about you?" That was probably the worst one. Benjamin Me. I'm glad that you are here too, thank you. Be mean. Pizza. How to flirt better? I mean, that's a broad question, Ellie. Well, to be fair, RR, I did correct myself, and I said it wasn't my best date, but it was definitely, like, the most hope that I had for the future at one date, and then it ended at the end. It turned into not fun anymore. Also, no, she didn't lie about her size. When she showed up and she was, I mean, when I use that word, I think people are probably imagining something different than it really is. She's just like, I wish I had pictures because I can't necessarily draw it, but she was very attractive. Austin McKinley. What inspired you to get into developmental psychology? I read about it during the 2008 market crash. I went to the library and I started reading like Wilbur books and everything like that. Um, did I write it down? Yeah, Theory of Everything, Brief History of Everything. I took those out in the library and I read about them and I was like, oh, this stuff is awesome. And I started reading Keegan and um, Gardner, and I just got really into it. And so then I went to school for it. And I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. I just was it was the 2008 market crash, and I just thought, "Well, everything's burning down anyway, may as well just do something I like." What was the next question? When did you decide to transfer that knowledge over to dating advice? Well, I decided to transfer it over to dating advice when my dating videos got popular. Like, I know a lot about dating because 'cause I've done it, and I know about developmental psychology because I studied it, and those things fit together very well. So that's just it was a happy accident for me. My videos started to get popular and I was like, "Oh, look at that. I have all the skills necessary for this." And also you're welcome. Max Sell, ever dated a nurse? Yes, I have. And yes, it was like that. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're about to say. And yes, it was that way. She was like that. Um, I liked her a lot. She was a cheater also. I have I'm very, very bitter about that. I'm so bitter about like there have been a lot of girls in my life who I forgave a lot because they were not perfect people. Um, and I liked them and I wanted to be with them and stay with them. And then I found out they were cheating on their boyfriends with me. And I went, that is a hard no. Um, Also, I've hooked up with other nurses, but that was the only one that I dated, like was with for a while. Gerb, how do you move up the levels of consciousness? Take time and think about your thoughts. Sit down and observe what your mind is doing. That's how you move up the levels. Sit down for a long time in a quiet place. And I mean, you can read a book or whatever, but you have to be quiet. Your mind has to be quiet. Read a chapter, close the book, stare at a tree, and listen to what your mind is doing. What are you thinking about? What are you feeling? Where's your mind trying to go? Um, Moving up the levels has everything to do with knowing what's happening in your mind. Is it possible to date an avoidant attachment? Yeah, it is. It is. You have to be really careful with them. Um, I uh, I know somebody who was engaged to and living with an avoidant. Um, it's possible. You just have to give them time and space and let them deal with it in their own way. It's like it's a headache, and they should heal. But if they're not healed, you can still do it. You just have to be careful. Kid gloves. Okay, I'm gonna go in 5 minutes. It's 1 in the morning. Tiffany Laura, give me a chance and you'll never be wrong. You tell me to jump, I'll say how high, my guy. I don't know what you mean. Are you hitting on me, Tiffany? Give you a chance to do what? Be clear. 2024 is here. Will the dating scene become better? No, it'll become worse. Just accept that it's the new norm. The dating is going to get worse as long as we have this dating app model of meeting each other. Um, it's forcing everybody into lower levels of thinking. It's forcing everybody down into making immediate snap decisions and not getting to know people and being shallow. It's going to continue to be bad. I think that people are gradually getting sick of it and finding um, alternatives and ways out. And if that happens this year, I would be very happy about it. But I do not remain hopeful. I think that you should get used to it for maybe the next 10 years at least. I think you should just get used to it. What do you think about voodoo? Not much. I'm not familiar with it. Thoughts on psychedelics, drug use, abuse in general? Psychedelics are not for everybody. Why is there INTJ written on a page? Someone asked me what my type was. It's INTJ, the autist. Um, Psychedelics are not for everybody. They, uh, in my understanding, can cause a lot of powerful change and development and revelation. Some people have their depression cured after one use. Some people quit smoking or drinking after one use. Good things can happen, but they're not for everybody, and you have to be ready. This is something that they say if you go to ayahuasca ceremonies, they'll say um, that the medicine is like a spirit and it chooses you or something. And so it's not like alcohol where if you drink it, you feel good. It interacts with you in a very complex way. Drug use, abuse in general, you should just stay away from drugs in general. Very few of them are worth doing. I have not enjoyed like I've messed around a long time ago with this and that, and most of it is just not worth it. Like I've had friends that were daily cocaine users, and all they ever did was bleed money and bleed out their nose. And they were just constantly just cocaine in the bathroom and just dust on their nose. And it's like it isn't most of that stuff isn't worth it. I'm gonna have a beer with my dinner, maybe 2 beers, and that's it. I don't it's never a good idea to get drunk. I don't know why people do that. I don't know why I did that. I used to get hammered all the time, and I don't know why I did that. Because you can have a couple beers now and then, and that feels good. Um, just live as clean of a life as you can. Health is important. You are not Ozzy Osbourne. You're not gonna do all the drugs and be fine. Okay, 2 minutes. 2 minutes and then I leave. Okay, I want to be Tank. I went on a date with a girl on Tinder that was awkward for us both. I talked about my ex, and after a bit, she was straight and told me I gotta sort that out and can message her back. Okay. Yeah. I mean, are you still attached to your ex? Don't date if you're still attached to someone. And if you are and you want to date anyway, don't talk to them about it. Don't bring it up. Woo Lee says, "Are you spiritual? Yes. Do you have a spirit guide? No. At least not that I know of. I've done spiritual things and I've opened my mind to, maybe you can talk to other beings through prayer or something. And maybe I have a spirit guide, or maybe I just imagined it. I don't know. But I've done magic y things. So yeah, I'm spiritual. I do definitely believe in a, transcendental, non physical, unitive aspect of the self. DVD, do you have any advice for sharing an unsavory past with a potential new partner? Yeah, slowly, carefully. I think it's right to let it be known early, maybe the second date. How unsavory? You've got to judge that. So, like, let me just give you some examples. If you have been in jail for years for murder, you probably have to say that before the first date. If you have just kind of slept around a lot, you should talk about that before you begin uh, to, sleep over with the next person. You gotta say those things as early as you can, but you don't always have to come straight out of the gate with it. It depends on what is so unsavory about your past. Okay, that is all the paid ones. I am going to bed. Now I'm going to grilled cheese and then bed. Good night. I am I am no longer live. I've got 1145 people on my thing at 1 in the morning on a goddamn Tuesday. I think I made it. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate. Good night.